Peace. Ali, coming back at you with another video. And in this video, I want to help you avoid being triggered by world events. So welcome back to the channel. My name is Ali. This channel is all about self-God realization and self-mastery. And with that, I want to speak briefly and give you some tips on how to avoid being triggered by the negative world events. If you notice right now, there's a lot of things being perpetuated in the media. And on social media, we just continuously recycle the same news. And it's getting people to a point where I know you're being triggered. I feel the negative energy amongst people because they're being negatively affected by the world events. So I wanted to make this video to give you some practical tips on how to avoid being triggered by what's going on in the world. So the first thing I recommend is ask yourself this question when it deals with anything in the news, any world events that's going on, I don't care what it is. Ask yourself this: is there something I can do about it? Is there something you can do about it? If the answer is no, then you're choosing to suffer by things that you have no control over. Now, if there is something you can do about it, by all means, participate and follow through with whatever notion that you're picking up. But for the most part, the world events that's going on that's deemed negative, you can't do anything about it. So it's best to probably realize that your hands are tied. And that's the limiting thing about being a human. You can't change and do everything. So once again, if there's nothing you can do about it, if you choose to be negatively affected by it, you're allowing yourself to suffer. So the first thing, ask yourself, is there anything I can do about it? If not, do you need to do your best to let it go? All right, the second tip, and this is pretty much common sense. Avoid viewing the negative news. So if it's on your social media, turn it off, unplug, unsubscribe. If it's the news, stop watching it. If it's people in your circle that's always bringing negative news to you, you may want to avoid them or cut them off for a short period of time, or tell them, yo, I don't want to hear about it. So ignorance is bliss. When you don't know about something, it's not going to affect you. So once again, if there's nothing you can do about it, and if you're still being triggered, just avoid the news altogether. Because I'm pretty much unplugged, I don't watch the news, I very rarely go into social media and read stuff like that. And even if I do, I'm not negatively affected by it. But if I were, I would just avoid it altogether. A lot of times I don't even know what's going on because I'm not fixated and focused on, okay, what are they doing today? Or it's GMO, chemtrails, the presidential elect, all these things that are being thrown at you. A lot of times I'm unaware because I how can I say this, being sensitive as possible. There's nothing I can do about it. And if I choose to allow myself to participate in it, then you're just going to be like all the other humans, just retweeting and reposting things that just trigger and make you feel less than what you really are. You're really truly a divine being. But if you allow yourself to be negatively affected by human affairs, then you're going to get the end result of that, which is a lot of pain and anguish. So the second tip is turn the news off, turn your social media off, and disconnect as much as possible. Okay, the third thing that I recommend to help you avoid being triggered by the world events, and this may be a little bit more challenging and difficult, is understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and the things that are going on this planet are temporary and are just like a movie. Let me explain. Those who are aware of the spiritual nature of our reality, we know that there is life beyond this physicality. There's life beyond our earthly existence. If you study near-death experiences and people that have had NDEs, they'll all tell you they left their body, they were met and greeted by loved ones on the other side. Those loved ones told them it's not your time and they have to go back to earth. Most of the near-death experiencers or people that had NDEs would tell you, I didn't want to come back to Earth. I was in a place that was quote unquote heavenly, in a beautiful place. Why did I want to come back here? So if you fast forward and think about when you leave the body or transition, you're going to go into a different experience, and what you encountered on Earth would be just like a movie. View this reality just like a movie. When you go to the movies and watch something, you don't go home and still have that going on in your head like, I can't believe that did that to that character. You're not being negatively affected by a movie that you watch. So why are you allowing this reality, which is like a movie, to affect you? So the third thing that I recommend is get deeper into your spiritual path. If this doesn't make sense to you, then you're not at the point where you're what I would call spiritually mature. So you want to study the spiritual world, study the soul, study things that go beyond the physicality and that help you put the physical earth in its proper perspective. So this has been Ali. I'm willing that these tips help you avoid being triggered by the world events. I know there's a lot going on the planet. If you focus on it, it can put you in a dump. So implement these tips, and I'm willing that it helps you avoid being triggered. For exclusive content, the ability to work with me, and also to join a community of like-minded souls, highly suggest that you check out my flagship program, Spiritual Mastery Accelerator. You can find out all the information at spiritualaccelerator.com. So until next time, this has been Ali. Peace.